Chelsea first game in the UEFA Conference League playoffs against Servette club at free Switzerland and a PM or the English Premier. I mean, of course, our Stamford Bridge and Chelsea was a very important game in there. Very good analysis for you. Hi, Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Not subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notification. Very important. Say subscribe to the channel and turn on notification, and make sure say in the notification turn and you do choose all I want to send it in the push notification. You are first to get the notification anytime via content ever show. And then of course, thank you very much. So I share content. You know now there will be also enjoy. I say our Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube or on it. Of course, Servette club. You know, they did play their first game against Braga, and the loser was supposed to play Chelsea. FC Braga beats them, and had the chance to come and play Chelsea. This is the first league away at the Stamford Bridge. Then Chelsea will go and then play them away Sweden or Switzerland, and they will see if they can qualify. But of course, Chelsea won by 2-0. There are a lot of the things that course were given, and that's what I want to run you through in there. Let's start it with the possible lineup. Chelsea and the core game. Chelsea obviously went with a 4-3-3, but not just a flat 4-3-3. It was a lot of variations. And of course, I'll run you by the lineup and I'll tell you how Chelsea wanted to play. Of course, Philip Jorgensen on the first official game for Chelsea. Managed to keep a clean sheet. He was very important. I think if you look at Philip Jorgensen, something happened in the second half. OPA to come and sweep the ball at the back for the center backs. And unlike a lot of goalkeepers, he took his time, took another touch, and then gave a pass. I think it's a very common for a goalkeeper. Of course, Axel de Sancey started at right back, but in the game proper, he was a right center back. Tosin Adrabiayo started as one of the two center backs, but he became the CCB, the center back. And Benoit Belashile ended up being the left center back. And of course, Renato Vieira started at the left back and they get inverted to Moises Caicedo in the DM role. And then up top in the two attacking number 8 rows, it was a branch of Finnick Cannon, Dries Bill Hall, with Christopher Nkuku. Then Pedro Neto kept the width on the right, Mihailo Mudryk kept the width on the left, and a bunch of Mark Guiu also the center forward, and not only did the lines for Chelsea Football Club in there. Of course, and then the variations of the game. Chelsea boy against team your friend is Servette. It was a very good game to see and make a sure. It was a game that Chelsea started from a 4-3-3, but the first thing that you realize, and it became a 3 center back with Tosin Adrabiayo, Axel de Sancey at the right center back, and then of course there was Benoit Belashile at the left center back, and in the middle of the park there was a branch of Moises Caicedo, any Abrantia, your friend Renato Vieira to lead the lines. And you see, from the blast of the whistle, first half, Chelsea in a ball possession of 54% or 52% from setting ups. But then again, I think the biggest issue of Chelsea, first half, near drab. A lot of people will call it piss poor. I choose to go with the word drab. I think it was a drab performance from Chelsea in the first half. They should have done better in terms of breaking down Servette in the low block. And I've said it several times. Chelsea will meet teams like this a lot of the times this season. Teams that sit in a low block, teams that ask Chelsea to come and break them down. And in games like this, you need a structure and a system to play well. But in that structure, there is the need for what we call intensity inside games. And if you look at the first half, the intensity in moving the ball from the back wasn't good enough from Chelsea. And several times, Chelsea been a ball, but then they waste their time. They pick its pockets. They send the ball out wide. It was slow between Abrantia and Renato Vieira and Abrantia and Moises Caicedo. But I think I like Renato Vieira attitude. He went in for a lot of tackles. He won them. Now, Antonio Rudiger used to do a lot. Rudiger used to whip up the fans and tell them to come in and then come on and they do well. Renato Vieira seems to be doing stuff like that. And I think that it helps the mood at Stamford Bridge because, of course, the team would have loved to make sure they get a lot more from this game in there. But then again, this is something that they wanted to do more. That's what Renato Vieira seems to be doing in there. Anytime he won any battle in there, he was very quality in there. He was very good. He played very well, and he makes sure everything was good in that double pivot with Abrantia Alfredo João with Abrantia Alfredo Moises Caicedo. Of course, On the left-hand side was Abrante friend Mihailo Mudryk. I wasn't particularly excited about Mihailo Mudryk, to be very honest with you. I think that in the first half, it wasn't good enough for Mihailo Mudryk. And so she gave now consistently, the camera goes to Enzo Maresca to try and coach him in game. He was a little bit lost when to receive the ball, how to receive the ball, in which zone of the ball, where to press. I think his performance was more like the first half for everybody. Very, very sluggish, not good enough. It was something that wasn't really, it looked as if not yet very enthused to playing this game. But then again, Enzo Maresca kept on bigging him up, kept on pushing him, said she do. There were times when Enzo Maresca had lost it with the backroom stuff. There's something that happened in the first few minutes. Servette for a corner kick a couple of times, about 2 or 3 times, and what he did, and then the backroom staff, the Chelsea players failed to realize it was a short corner kick and a Servette for Babebo. He was very angry. He moved to them and told them it was a short corner kick that they are coming to play, and that's when they realized they are about to play a short corner kick, and then they decided to change their defense of that short corner kick, And I think Tosin Adrebiayo and Belashi in the first half, of course, with the Sassi, kept the rest defense fairly okay, prevented any turnovers from coming through and coming to help Chelsea Football Club. Of course, this was a formation that was supposed to isolate Abrante friend Mihailo Mudryk 1v1 with his winger. In the first half, there was a chance where he played a shot and he moved across the face of goal. They didn't really get that goal for him. Same for Pedro Neto. They didn't really get on the ball a lot in this game like this. Of course, a lot of people wanted Chelsea to dominate and score more, but Servette seemed to be very resolute at the back, and they made it difficult for Chelsea to control any game. I think that, of course, like I said, Mihailo Mudryk in a very hot and cold game in there. Some of his actions were intense. Some of them didn't look like he was really in tune with what was going on on him. Moises Caicedo really also wasn't being up to speed in the middle of the park for Chelsea Football Club. He lacked intent, and I think that on the ball, he didn't really play as much as I wanted him to play, to get on the ball, to play forward, and to play it with a lot of quickness and aggression up top. And of course, I did expect more for Christopher and Nkunku, but of course, in the second half, when Chelsea came back, he changed a few things, and of course, but like I said, whilst everybody will talk about the performance in the first half and everything, for me, I think that Chelsea's best issue against Servette, because they were playing the low block. They were playing with a 4-5-1 low block, sometimes a 4-4-2 low block. Sometimes they push up to come into the mid block slightly, but it was more low block than anything. And the main issue for me, like I said, was movement and passing, intensity. Everything was too slow in the first half. Not too slow. There was no intensity. Nobody wants to go. Nobody wants to move, because sometimes Mark Gill will drop. There is space in behind where they're supposed to be. The wingers are supposed to attack. Some even attacking number 8 like Nkunku, Mudryk, any about Pedro Neto should be able to attack. They were not attacking those spaces, and like I said, there was no intent, and the intent was less. And it didn't really look like they wanted to exploit those spaces that were there at the back for them. But then I think apart from that, that was really exactly how the first half looked like, and with everything that we wanted to do in the back in the second half. And I think that for me, 2-0, like I said, it's a good result, but in the first half was a little bit worried in there. Like again, is the lack of intensity. Maybe the lack in nature of performance has many fitness factors attached to it, because they played another game on Sunday. But these players, of course, he rested a lot of them. I think that Tosin Adrebiayo was excellent at the back for Chelsea Football Club. Very progressive with his passes in there at centre back. He has shown that he can fight it. Levi Cole at CCB in there. Fernandez and then Mudryk, for me, came on, and then they changed the game. And I've said it several times. People can say everything that they want to say about Enzo Fernandez, but as a deep line playmaker sitting next to another DM that covers the ground for him, that wins the ball for him on the ball, Enzo Fernandez is next to the only few people that are close to him in terms of quality. If you come in, I'll talk about the goal or setting up a man, Noni Mudryk. But when he receives the ball, how he receives the ball, the half 10 in the deep line area, the switches of play in the first half, no player had been able to complete a long pass, but Enzo Fernandez comes in and then begins to complete stuff like that, and that's something that you get for him on the ball. And I think that Chelsea in the second half changed a few things. They took off Pedro Neto, Nkunku Firmino, Abrante Fen Magi Film, and Obebo Kopama at centre forward. I think considering how Abrante Fen Magi any a big chance open. And again, for me, I understand. Something I want to look at is the boy's intensity. He had a lot of intensity to win that ball from the press. But then again, I think Amagi should have been able to score. According to the xgs.com, almost say that chance was 94% chance of scoring. and Abranti friend Magiu did not really put that through. But I think in the second half, that is where Chelsea really began to play well. In the second half, Chelsea really began to play well. They begin to get in between the lines. They begin to control the game better, especially when Enzo Fernandez has come on. Of course, early in the second half, when Abrantia, the friend Christopher Nkuku, and had that very, very good penalty opportunity or converting. Of course, the ball was played in there into his path. He ran into it and then he won that ball and then made sure that he was going to get a penalty for Chelsea Football Club. And I think that was a very, very good performance from Christopher Nkuku from the dead ball situation. For the very first time, Chelsea that blue balloon that was Stamford Bridge. And of course, the first goal under Enzo Maresca was scored by a branch friend Christopher or Chris Nkuku. Very, very good one. Of course, in there, it's our first goal in one. But around that time, I was still looking at Chelsea goalkeeper Philip Jorgensen. He's somebody that people have been really spoken about. I want to hear from you. What do you make of Philip Jorgensen? Do you think that he was good enough in how he played in the later dying numbers of the game? I think that it was a very, very good, very, very good debut game for Philip Jorgensen, going unnoticed over there. I think that he played very well. I think his debut was solid. I think that if you ask me, I want Philip Jorgensen to start against Wolves. That was excellent football from Jorgensen. Calm down the nerves of everybody, control the game in that regard, played out from the back, was solid, was one of the best players that you can have in the team. And like I was telling you, there were times where the ball gets to him where a lot of goalkeepers will go long, they will balloon the ball. Jorgensen said no, he calmed down, played very well with Sean, and then controlled the game. I think that he was one of Chelsea's best players on the night against Servette in a game where Chelsea needed to control and then play well. On the ball, he was excellent, of course. In the second half, Enzo Fernandez Chelsea Caicedo Free Romeo Lavia by and Abranche Enzo Fernandez came to take the captain's armband for the second game. Abranche Enzo Fernandez had a captain's armband in there. I think that the most important thing is that Chelsea needed that win for nothing after that game against Team FM Manchester City, and also to build in confidence for the game on ball over the weekend against Team FM Wolves was very important in there. And you realize, after the game, coach that scored Enzo Maresca really did go to the fans and say thank you to them. Of course, the second goal is the most important one. Like I've said several times, someone who bought against any team that has a low block, any team that prevents you from breaking them down, that's a very resolute at the back. One of the things that's important is a deep line playmaker that's able to play passes, to split defenses into two and into halves and then find opportunity. That ball that was set up by Noni Madueke Album in the second half was the job of Enzo Fernandez when he played next to Abrante Fen Moise Caicedo. He was excellent, he was exquisite. That ball over the top, in between the two centre backs now, and it'll be another ball on the toe of Abrante Fen Noni Madueke. See, I know said before this game, a lot of people were thinking, say, Nani Madueke number turn, especially when in a game like this, Pedro Neto started ahead of him. But see, Noni Madueke really came saying, can I justify your inclusion? Noni Madueke has showed to everybody, say he is up there, he can play in this game. 1v1, only a few people are better than him, and he has that intensity. McCann several times said, if Noni Madueke will add the off-the-ball jobber, he's a top talent. He's a very, very good player. He can play very well with the ball, can play very well without the ball. And if you look at that finishing off his weaker foot, in the right foot, because the ball was clipped in between the outside fullback and the centre back. And once the ball came to his right foot, to the first pool in there, Abrante Feni Noni Madueke did a job very well for them. Of course, in the first start, Pedro Neto really blew hot and cold. I think that the most important thing, and they said Chelsea were able to get that win. Of course, Noni Madueke came on and then got the job done in there. For me, Philip Jorgensen was very, very, very important. In the second half, it was excellent. I think that whilst the first half had some issues with Mihailo Mudryk, the second one was better. Renato Viega, everybody's talking about him. Yes, he was very important in any game. Kenan Drisby, I wasn't really excited in there, but generally, I like the shape. I like the fact that Enzo Maresca didn't force his first choice centre backs in Fofana and in West Liverpool to come and play. There is depth in there. He played with them, managed them over the way. I like the fact that Moise Caicedo got some minutes, Romeo Lavia got some minutes, Abrante Enzo Fernandez got some minutes, everybody got some few minutes in there, and then of course still Chelsea were able to get that all-important win. I ain't been good, but man, that back, of course, in there, Jorgensen, he had been very, very good in there. Of course, I think that the most important thing everybody has seen is that the fact that Chelsea getting that goal. Of course, the big issue is Mihailo Mudryk in there, especially by the second half. It was good. It was good. He was very, very good in there in terms of the quality. So this is where we draw the curtain on Fiifi-Manfred. I need to say a very big thank you to you for subscribing to the channel. There's a post-match analysis, Chelsea versus Servette in the UACL.